Why is China, America, Europe, and all of these white companies, even Indians, why are all of them failing to control and dominate Nigeria the way they are doing in South Africa, Ghana, and many other African countries? There's a clear difference. Let me describe the situation to you so you can understand before we start going into the details, because many Africans don't understand the reality. You understand? You cannot enter Nigeria and see a billion-dollar company owned by a white man and controlled by white, and the workers are white. You cannot. In the car sector in Nigeria, the biggest car manufacturers and producers in Nigeria are Nigerians themselves. The highest car importers and vendors in Nigeria are Nigerians themselves. That cannot be the same story in Ghana. That's not the same story in South Africa. If there's any car manufacturing plant in South Africa, it is owned by a white man. That is the reality. And in every other sector, it's the same. Go to the clothing sector. Whatever Nike is producing, whatever any brand is producing, the biggest clothes vendors, the biggest clothes importers, the biggest businessmen in that sector, Nigerians, is you will not see white man dominating a sector in Nigeria. You will never find it. You will never find it, I tell you. Even if a white man comes and tries to dominate a sector in Nigeria, the white man will eventually abandon it and run away. Let me give you a perfect example. Do you know that even the cryptocurrency world in Nigeria is not dominated and controlled by the whites? Do you know that Binance came to the CEO of Binance is still locked up in Nigeria? The CEO of Binance still dead prison for Nigeria. That is to tell you that these people don't have the opportunity to do it in Nigeria the way they are doing it in South Africa and they are doing it in other African countries. They don't have it. There is no sector in Nigeria that whites can dominate and proudly say we control it. We recently see how they are packing and moving out. Even the oil industry that white people have been controlling for years, for decades, eventually they are losing out. The fuel and gas, the oil industry, refineries and everything. White people are losing to Nigerians. White people are losing to Nigerians in Nigeria. They cannot have the control over it. They cannot have the power over it in Nigeria. But come and see them in South Africa now. Up to barber shops. The biggest barbering shops in South Africa are owned by Indians and Chinese. The biggest restaurants are owned by Indians, Chinese. Every sector in South Africa is dominated by Indians, Chinese, or whites. Every sector, I can tell you that for sure, for free, and it's a fact. Those who have been to South Africa can testify. An honest South African will testify that what I'm saying is the truth. So that is the problem that the white man will always have with Nigeria. And that's why you always see Nigeria is constantly having one problem to another with China. If Nigeria is not having court case with China, Nigeria will be having court case with the UK. Nigeria will be having court case with America. Nigeria will have court case with this country, court case. Nigeria court case, no, they finish. When last did you hear that Ghana had a court case with even India or Bangladesh company? Because they don't have, these people freely come to their country, freely collect and freely move. But in Nigeria, before the white man gain access to that collection, even if one president come today and give China the rights to mine, another president will come and say, no, we do no longer agree. We don't agree anymore to those rights. You have to pack and leave. And that is the problem. That's why today we are hearing of China trying to seize Nigeria jet properties, Nigeria properties abroad, Nigeria government, this and this. And people will be laughing, thinking that is a bad thing for Nigeria. It's not a bad thing. It's a very good thing to tell you that the country Nigeria does not accept all these nations to come into Nigeria and have access to their resources at will. That is the meaning, and that is why Nigeria is constantly fighting white people in their country. And Nigeria is always winning. Unfortunately, Nigeria is always winning. If you think that these people will ever win, is a lie. They will never. None of them has ever won. Right from colonialism, they couldn't win against Nigeria. They had to just say, oh, let us do indirect rule. Let us divide Nigeria into three big tribes. Use the tribes to have problem with each other. Create tribalism in the country. That's the only way we can have control over the country. It's very simple. You don't have to have PhD to understand. Nigeria is not only 3 tribes, but they intentionally divide it into 3 tribes only. We have empires, they do empires. We have many empires in Nigeria that they didn't consider. They just say, no, let us create any kind of division in this country so that while the citizens are building, struggling, this, I'm this, I'm that, we are busy controlling because they didn't have the access. They know that the unity of Nigeria is a very big threat to the white man. They know the moment Nigeria can be united, Igbo, Yoruba, and Hausa, the more they can sit down on one table and come to a compromise decision. No. They don't ever want that to happen. You understand? So you have to realize that Nigeria is a big problem for them. So one court case to another. With America, Nigeria has multiple court cases with American citizens, with American companies, with the American government. Multiple court cases with British business people, British government, British citizens. Multiple challenges here and there with them. All of them, all these countries, they fight one Nigeria. All of them fighting one country, Nigeria, but yet they cannot win. They cannot win. So how else will I tell you that Nigeria is a great country? How else will Nigeria prove itself a great and powerful country? So that's the basic reality, guys, that Africans have to wake up to. And for me, my cry, my wish every day would be that African countries should wake up and become like Nigerians. Learn to dominate in your country. Learn to have access and control of your resources the way Nigerians are doing. Don't give white people, Europeans, Americans, Indians, Chinese the right to step into your country and have access to it. Don't give them that chance. Don't give them. That's the freedom they have been enjoying in other African countries. That's why you never hear court case anywhere. But in Nigeria, it's not happening that way. Nigeria is blocking them. Nigeria is sending them off. Nigeria is always making sure that they are the ones ahead. And they don't like it. Like we say, the greatest black nation in the world is Nigeria. Don't play. Don't play, my guys. Don't you ever play, because if you play, you're going to learn. And you know that I'm always bringing the truth. I'm always bringing top-notch evidence and top-notch facts about Nigeria and African countries. You understand? Yes, some Africans are not happy with me, Ghanaians, South Africans, but you better not be, man, because I'm not going to lie to please you. I'm not going to lie to please South Africans or Ghanaians or any other person. I'm going to tell you the truth, the reality that's going on in your country. And if all of us can eventually wake up to be like Nigerians, good for Africa, good for all of us, then Africa wins, then we keep going. It is what it is. Your boy Ajo Magazine. Smash the like button, smash notification bell, and come back anytime you're free. God bless you all. Cheers.